You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. Yo, man, thanks for being flexible. How are you?
My guy, what's going on? I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. We always appreciate your time, and thanks for being flexible here with us. Hey, let me start just with a general feeling on the importance of the SEC tournament. Where do you fall there?
You know, it's a different format now, so it's a little different for us. It was a little different for us, but that was my favorite. We used to joke. It was the LSU Invitational. I won it all 3 times that I was in college. So for me, it's an integral part, of the season, and it's a core part of my memory, obviously. But for us, we used to love going there. It was kind of final tune-up. But, every year kind of dictates that tournament's role. And so I think, Jay kind of alludes to that in some of his recent stuff. And, you've seen it in different ways, and it plays a different role based on where you're at in your season.
Okay, so let's look at where LSU is right now. I believe, I don't know if you agree, I think they've locked up a top 8 national seed. Jay said as much today. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do agree. I think so. And kind of what he said, right, the consistent approach the whole season, I think from start to finish, they've been top 3 and consistently been a top 5 team, top 10 team the whole year.
Okay, so if you feel like you've locked up a top 8, how does that affect your approach and strategy for Friday, regardless of who you play?
Yeah, I think you still, no matter what, I think Texas is probably guaranteed to get a top 8, but I think for overall, these other teams are still relatively in the mix, right? You still got to go win a game. You still got to go put out your best performance. So for me, I love, and since the first game is on Friday, if you are going to use, Kade in that first game in the regional, it lines up perfectly to be week to week. So why wouldn't you just start him if you want to have a limited pitch count to rest and give him some overall rest, kind of like what he did with Skeens, a couple years ago. But still, I think you still go after it and you would approach it like it's a normal Friday night game. Okay,
you were a Friday night guy in a championship season. Would you rather the rest, meaning skip your turn at this point of the season, the end of May, you get a week off, or would you rather the consistency of taking your turn?
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm feeling good, if there's no major injury that I'm battling or pain or, any lingering things, I want my turn every single time. Give me that ball, even if it's, like I said, give me 75 pitches, keep me on my routine. I would feel for him, especially if I was in a good groove and I'm having a great year. I want to go out there and for consistency, honestly, like you said, more for that next start where I don't feel like I hadn't touched a baseball in 14 days.
Does it feel like that?
Absolutely. Dude, I'm not even kidding you. There would be times that I would get rained out. And it was more in pro ball when you throw, every 5 days, less in college when it's normally 7 days. But if I had a rain out, sometimes it would be oh, wow, I didn't touch a ball yesterday and it's 6 days rest. Your arm feels a little live. You have that little less feel for your fastball. And for guys that are change-up guys, right, that all matters.
Anthony Ranaudo is our guest. You also mentioned the possibility of maybe going out there and throwing 75 pitches. Or whatever that number may be, right? So you start, you take your turn, you just don't extend the way you would. What's the biggest difference that's material that you could tell throwing 75 pitches as opposed to 115 pitches?
Like I said, I think it's the ability to get out there and just make sure that you're getting out there in your turn. And for me, I noticed throughout my career, if I took 10 days off like that or 12 days off, if they did skip a start for me, I would feel a little bit more fatigued in that 6th or 7th inning. And especially for a guy like Kade Anderson, Anthony, right? They've been pitching into the 7th inning a lot, right? So that's kind of normal for them. So you want them to still take that ball and feel like they're about to go and do their normal 5 or 6 innings, but just scale it back so their body really doesn't know that much difference, coming next Friday when the regionals come around Friday or Saturday.
Let me ask the same question, just kind of a different way. Is there a point, if you only throw 75 as opposed to 115, do you feel like you would recover fast? Is the 30 pitches that big of a difference to where you feel like you'd recover faster for next week in regionals?
Yeah, it really depends. And dude, this is like where I think the science comes into it so much more that I don't know anymore being out of the game. When I was playing, like I really wouldn't know that much of a difference, but nowadays they might have information, the placebo effect and everything. If they know, hey, yeah, that 30 pitches really does make that much of a difference, they might be like, yeah, I need that 30 pitches. And, I guess, Cade didn't have 100 innings last year, so this is definitely getting into his highest workload. So maybe those 30 pitches for a guy like that really do make a difference,
Anthony Ranaudo is our guest, former Tiger ace, of course, member of the 2009 National Championship team. Does the injury scare, whatever you want to call it, the wrist forearm thing from a couple of weeks ago, does that factor in at all anymore?
No, I don't think so. I think you saw the body of work. And for me, I was looking at the stuff, right? The life on the fastball, the swings and misses, it's all good. So I think that would have been the sign for me of like, yeah, okay, let's definitely scale this back, maybe sit him out. And if it was more of a discussion, like, yeah, guys, don't be surprised if Cade misses a start, then I'd be like, yeah, we should, or whatever, right? Like that probably would have given me some more red flags.
Was there ever a time in college? I'm trying to think. Did you ever skip a start in college?
No, not. But like in my junior year, I had some injuries, so that's where I'm trying to remember. Actually, now that you say it, like I think I did pitch the second game, and I remember being like, oh, I could actually use that day because my elbow was barking still, But it was draft time, and you want to get out there, so. But I know my sophomore year, I was like, I want to pitch the first game. I don't want to skip. I want to stay on my routine. I feel great,
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, the way the format sets up makes it. You tell me if you disagree. It feels like the way this format sets up, and LSU getting the draw they did as the 3 seed, getting to play on Friday, it sets up really well for Jay to make this decision because he doesn't have to make a decision about throwing anybody on short rest. Does that make sense?
Oh, dude, when that was the best thing that could have happened to them, in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Is there any difference, or what is the difference between running Kade Anderson out there on Friday to throw a game as opposed to saying, hey, instead of doing this, we're just going to let you throw a bullpen?
Yeah, and especially for a competitor, it just doesn't get you the same way. You're not going to get sore, and you want to just get out there, I think. And I don't know. It just, when you're going well and you're having the year that he is, get him out there. I don't know. I think, and honestly, he seems like the kind of kid, get him out there, let him throw 100 pitches, honestly, for me, right? That's me. But I don't have science. It's different, so Jay's obviously going to make the right decision, but yeah, not a bullpen for me.
Sometimes, but Anthony, I mean, I think like you're telling the story here. I mean, it's why I wanted to talk to you. I mean, you have the perspective that like a lot of the audience probably doesn't have to say, what is the difference between 30 pitches, or what is the difference between taking the time off or throwing a bullpen? I mean, this is very revealing. So I'm kind of sitting here going, all right, hell, let him go throw 115 pitches if he wants to. If he's good, let him do it.
I'm serious, and when it's weird because baseball is so interesting, and even your body too, right? The human body is interesting, and you hear this, and you hear it about Skeens particularly right now in the big leagues, right? And again, this is where it's way over my head with science, and the Pirates have way better information than any of us. But it's really about the stress of the pitches. So there might be a time that you take Skeens out when he has 91 pitches, but he walked 3 or 4 guys, and it's like, all right, yeah, he's got a shutout going, but he had to battle like hell to get through it. So he's going to be way more sore. There's way more stress on his arm. And other times you throw 105, but you threw 7 1/3 and you sliced through the lineup and you had, 3 guys on base and those are low stress pitches. You feel like you could go pitch another 5 innings the next day. That is 100% real.
Yeah. Too bad that the Pirates haven't used that science to put their lineup together. That'd be nice if they would do that at this point. Let's see if we can use that and get
They got
to
to figure some other things out to get that guy some wins and get some run support.
How brutal is that?
Terrible.
Hey, what if one more? What if LSU loses Friday and Ianson doesn't get his turn? What do you do then with him?
Yeah, see, that hurts, and that's what I hate. That's the one thing that kind of stinks, but it's kind of I guess luck of the draw. Yeah, that's the thing that does stink because that guy is an integral role in the regional, so you want him to get some sort of innings.
So what would you do? Like, would you throw a simulated game when you get back? I mean, what would be a normal path for a guy like that if you wanted him to get work?
Absolutely. So if that were me, I'd be like, Jay, sorry, man, I know we just lost, but I want to go throw a bullpen on Saturday, and I want to throw 100 pitches almost like, I'm not going to ever simulate a game probably, but I want to get up and down. That's the big thing too is, I would probably simulate getting up and down just like a game. So I would throw 15 to 20 pitches like there was an inning, go sit 5 minutes, get up, throw another 15 pitches, and do that 2 or 3 times. He might, this point of the year, get some other batters in there, maybe some freshmen, some redshirt, to get some innings. To get some ABs or whatever before they go to summer ball. But that's kind of probably what would happen.
Yeah, great point. This is exactly the convo I was hoping we'd have. Anthony Ranaudo, of course, former Tiger great. Tigers heading to Hoover. They'll play on Friday. Dude, tell us what. You always got a million things going on. Fill everybody in. Catch everybody up. What's going on?
Yeah, it's so ironic, and I was lucky to host your show last week. Thank you for that. But
of course, man, we appreciate it.
Ironically enough, I'm actually in a waiting and see mode right now. Cards and Culture was great to me for 4 or 5 years, but I'm stepping away now, and so fortunate. I'm taking a little breather and seeing what's next. So
cool, man.
We'll see.
Well, we're here, man. So if we can ever help with anything, give us a shout. We'll be in touch. I always appreciate when you jump aboard here and give us your time, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, let's get the Tigers keep winning. I'll keep jumping on with you anytime, man. Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.